Alright guys, yesterday Dokkan dropped the Super EZA for the INT UI Goku. We do have him rainbowed, we have him at level 10 links. Cannot wait to try him out. We have him on the juiced up 220 Realm of Gods lead with the Carnival LR UI. And I have to say, like, one or two more units, either EZAs or new ones, and this Realm of Gods team is actually in a pretty good spot. So he is starting with a 768k attack stat, 519 on the defense. And let's not forget as well, and he's going to be amazing in Festival of Battles, he is also a stacker. He's going to be stacking up by 20% attack and defense, which isn't a lot. So hopefully we get as many additionals as possible. But for those start of turn stats, a pretty good number nonetheless, considering we are going to be building that up. We do have this guy supporting as well, which is also going to be helping him out. And he is starting with Key plus 2, 200% attack and defense, while also having a base 50% chance to dodge. And then because we have 3 or more Realm of Gods or Universe Survival Saga category allies on the team, UI Goku has an extra 150% attack and defense with a guaranteed additional super, which is going to be a big help with us stacking up a bit quicker, and also an extra 20% chance to dodge at all times, considering we have a full Realm of Gods team, which means we have a base 70% chance to dodge in his base before transforming, before we factor in anything else. And when he's going to attack, we're going to gain an extra 200% extra attack on top of what we're starting with, and again, any extra stacks we do get on top of the initial super. And we're starting with a 24.3 million super, which I know isn't the highest, but again, for a stacker with a few additionals built in, it's not a bad starting point. I'm already starting off with a crit up to 25 milli. We got the guaranteed additional. Can we hit another one maybe to get an extra stack in? We got a little bit of dodge in the hidden potential system, no. But there is the 70% chance to dodge kicking off, and he does have a 50% chance to crit as well when attacking, which of course we did just there. So not a bad turn 1 start performance from INT UI. Then receiving an attack, even though we did take 1 and we dodged it, he does gain an extra 150 defense, which is also very nice to kind of contend with any normals he needs to deal with while in base if you do get unlucky and actually don't get the dodge off. But then not only that as well, he does one time get an extra 20% chance to dodge. So at that moment, we did actually have a total of about 90% dodge chance on his first appearance alone. So more often than not, when you do have Super EZA INT UI out on turn 1, majority of the time, more often than not, he will be guaranteed almost dodging. And it's going to be quite unfortunate because there's going to be a handful of times this does happen where that 10% chance just kicks in over that full 90 where he doesn't actually dodge. But then that's when the stacking and the extra defense is going to come into play, where he should be able to contend with maybe the majority of normals, especially once you get his stacking up and going. But where the extra 150 defense on receiving an attack is going to kind of flesh him out a bit more. But quite nice that he pretty much has guaranteed dodge on turn 1. If he's next to Carnival LR Fizz UI, which unfortunately one of them was on turn 7, he's going to be there on next rotation, and the friend one's here now. On his first appearance, he can actually have guaranteed dodge, because you got the base 50, the extra 20 for 3 Realm of Gods or Universe Survival Saga category allies on the team, then the extra 21 time when receiving an attack, then the 10 from Fizz UI Goku. You can actually get guaranteed dodge on turn 1. So if you think about it this way, early on when a lot of units are at their most weakest, their most vulnerable, kind of INT UI being one of those with the stacks, you could have Fizz UI with all of his dodge chance in slot 1. You could have this guy in slot 2, even slot 3, depending on the rotation, with all of his dodge, and then also Fizz UI's support. And then another dodging unit like AGL UI, whose EZA is probably one of the most craziest niche EZAs at this point in the entire game. And then you also maybe have like Strength Blue Boys from the GDC who could dodge in slot 3. And if you got lucky enough and all the cards were dealt right, I mean, the 2 UIs are pretty much fine. You'll get very unfortunate for INT UI not to dodge, but again, it could happen. You could actually just dodge the entire rotation. So as I already said prior, which I think is really, really obvious, he's going to work really well with the Carnival LR Fizz UI, which I think that was going to be obvious anyway, but kind of giving him guaranteed dodge on his first appearance is a pretty crazy thing to do again when a lot of units are at their most weakest. So right now, off a couple stacks, literally 2, we are on a 1.13 million attack stat, 1.4 mil defense already. We now have Fizz UI Goku's support. However, of course, because he has had his first appearance, we have lost that 20% chance to dodge that he gets one time. So we are operating with about, what, 80% dodge chance, which again, more often than not, he will be dodging. Most of the time, it will probably feel like guaranteed dodge when you're sitting with Fizz UI on the same rotation. Not to mention, they're going to link very, very well together aside from legendary power. Then the third slot unit will happily and probably very easily activate that last link you're missing. But again, what you need to remember with dodge units, and it's kind of typical with dodge or die units like UI Goku in this case, there is a chance that 20% chance kicks in more often than not if you do get really unlucky with RNG. But then after evading an attack, UI Goku does get 100% defense infinitely within the turn, but one time. So essentially, that 100% defense will happen once. So we already got the extra 100% defense on that turn 1, up to 32.5 mil already. Again, very good starting point. Even though we're only stacking by 20%, this is where the additionals are really going to help us, especially if you do have that guaranteed additional super because of the 3 Realm of Gods or Universe Survival Saga category units on the team. Because since you're stacking so little amounts, all the extra super attacks are going to play a big part stacking him up quicker because he needs it so much. And there's all that dodge kicking in. That's what you want to see more often than not. But that defense after evading, while it only happens once, which of course again we did get it and it's going to help out with normals, especially early on when he's stacking and if he doesn't dodge. But when that triggers, that 100% defense is permanent. So while it only happens once on his first appearance, he keeps that 100% defense for the rest of the fight, which is very nice. Again, it helps juice him up a little bit more. Not only that as well, Int UI is supplying a little bit of support. Nothing crazy, but I mean, considering we've got a stacking dodge or die unit who can also support in some shape or form, he's also giving superclass allies key +2, which is always handy. You know, I know there's no stat boost there, but definitely not something to turn your nose up at. And extreme class allies will get key +1. So again, and I said this during the video where we went through his details, if you do actually end up running him with the SSJ4 Daima Goku and SSJ3 Daima Vegeta units on a category that isn't Realm of Gods, which of course you can do, even though their key issues have kind of been patterned at this point, Super EZA Int UI is going to be another unit that can supply them with key and probably diminish some of the key issues they may have when you're trying to get Goku up to 24 key and trying to get Vegeta up to 23 key. So I will definitely take that. Any alternatives, any extra units to kind of help with some of those key issues that we kind of saw with those Part 1 Annie units, I will definitely take. Then for 3 turns, which by next turn, that will be his final turn with this. For 3 turns from his entry, UI Goku will have an extra 200% defense as well. So Dokkan has kind of flushed again with the stacking, plus Super EZA Int UI with all this extra defense, which of course is definitely going to help him early on when he's at his weakest, when he's at his most vulnerable, when of course you haven't had too much time to stack, but of course even better when it combines with some of the stacks, all this extra defense to help him out. If you do get very unlucky, which with the amount of dodge chance he does have, you'd have to get quite unlucky, but again, it does happen. It is RNG at the end of the day. All this extra defense to help Super EZA Int UI firm and tank normals, which by off of 2 stacks prior to his last turn, we were already up to over a milli defense with no guard, no damage reduction. So most normals in the game, just by a couple stacks and all the defense he gets from his appearance, he should be able to tank all the normals just fine. So now we have his transformation, which of course this is an old school unit. This is before transformations got locked behind actives and you could do them whenever you want. When your HP is at 50% or less, or when all allies attacking in the turn are Realm of Gods, Universe Survival Saga, or Turtle School, which I do like the idea that they chucked that in. I would have liked the Turtle School condition on the other buffs that Goku gets as well, where it's just Realm of Gods and Universe Survival Saga, but it is what it is. Just to kind of give it a little bit less restrictiveness, he will transform straight away on turn 4. And the good thing is UI stays stacking, so you don't actually lose out on it. He's still going to be stacking by 20% attack and defense. So that is good. And as you can see, we can see where Daima Goku is supering from, because when he transforms for 4 turns from the entry, he does have an enemy scouter, which is a big team helping ability. So he is on a 1.77 million attack stat right now, 761k defense. And because we have Fizz UI here, we literally know where the super attacks are coming from. This is going to be a big help, not only just finding the supers, but also defending against them. Because we can literally be like, oh, we're super attacked in slot 1. Cool. Fizz UI can go there. Or we can go, Int UI can go there, because on his first appearance after he transforms, he has guaranteed dodge. So you can essentially set him up to dodge some of these big bad super attacks and completely null and void them. Of course, if you can dodge. Or in this case, where there's multiple super attacks, well, we go Fizz UI is much better in slot 1. We'll leave him there to potentially dodge that one. And Int UI can stay in slot 1, where he's got guaranteed dodge for 1 turn, and he can guaranteed dodge the second one. And all super attacks become null and void this turn, because we've made Daima Goku look absolutely stupid. Actually, he's made me look stupid because he actually didn't dodge. Crazy work. We're still alive though. But of course, that's where the RNG kicks in. You can get very unlucky. But if we did get lucky, Fizz UI could have dodged like I planned. And then Int UI guaranteed to dodge the second one. I can't actually believe that. We're going to... Actually, no. We might not die. Because we have the Int SSB revival. I can't believe that. I'm talking all this gas, all this grease about, oh yeah, we got the Scouter, we've got both UI Gokus here, we can dodge super attacks, null and void, and I just watch Fizz UI Goku just go, say swear. 53.5 milli though. So you're getting these kind of attack stacks again off the stacking in base, which again, he's still stacking now, big boy crit as well. But his attack stat jumps up. So now he's actually doing some pretty noteworthy damage again while still stacking. Big crits as well. Triple while having guaranteed dodge. So now he starts with key +3, 250 attack and defense, has a 77% chance to dodge in base rather than, of course, the guaranteed dodge he's got now. Also, when attacking, 300% attack, chance to crit by 77%. So again, while stacking this whole time and jumping up to over 50, almost 60 mil on supers, he's going to be critting more often than not as well. So he's going to be doing noteworthy damage while also actually doing good damage to enemy health with the crit chance. He also disables enemy's guard for 2 turns, which, as I said before, is kind of neither here nor there. Kind of nice that he has it. Don't really need it. And then again, when you have 3 or more Realm of Gods units or Universe Survival Saga category allies on a team, 200% attack and defense, guaranteed additional super, which you're going to want to get because you do want to make him stack as many times as possible because, well, he is a stacking unit, but then also we haven't actually got the revival. I'll be right back. Sometimes even with all that dodge chance, units, of course, just don't dodge. But as I was saying, in terms of that guaranteed additional super, I mean, it's going to help the stacks. You know, with the amount of crit he's also got, you're actually going to start doing some pretty good damage. But this rotation, aside from that happening, of course, you've got a lot of dodge going on to the point where more often than not, sometimes you get really unlucky like I did just then. Nothing is touching these two, which is kind of crazy to think. Int UI is up to a 2.96 milli attack stat and then 1.26 mil on the defense. So even if he doesn't dodge, he's still probably going to be able to deal with the majority, if not all normals in the game. If you do get unlucky with a dodge chance, then after evading an attack or after receiving an attack, he does gain, really? Again? I'm pretty sure now I need the rest of the rotation to dodge. I can't believe that's happened again. When receiving an attack, does gain 200% defense, and then after dodging, does gain 150 defense permanently, but again, just like in base, but now 150 over 100, does keep it permanently. And now that super class key support of 2 key and extreme class allies with 1 key does last 2 turns as well, which is nice. And then for 1 turn, as we already mentioned, does have guaranteed dodge, which you can set up with his scouter, and does have an extra guaranteed additional super. So if his first appearance, Int UI is coming out with just pure smoke with all of those super attacks and of course all of that crit chance. And he's done it to me again, which is crazy. I can't believe Fizz UI there, but it's okay. It's okay. We got through everything. Overall, I think this Super EZA is amazing. Just what Realm of Gods needed. A ton of dodge in the team, even though just then Fizz UI shagged me twice. But more often than not, as I said, there is a ton of dodge on that team. Just with like a couple more units, new or EZAs, Realm of Gods is going to be in a fantastic spot. But of course, you can run this guy elsewhere. You just need the Realm of God cat as units, which with all the new EZAs and units shouldn't be too difficult to do if you're not going to do a full team. But I think overall, even though he does stack by 20% on both attack and defense, he does stack up fairly quickly with all the extra stats he's got and the additionals. The guaranteed dodge paired with the scouter, even if only for 1 turn, is great, and the scouter for 4 turns is really good, especially just setting up dodge units to just null and void super attacks. I think overall this Super EZA is amazing and probably one of the better units to come out of the 11th anniversary. And of course, with him being a stacker and having so much dodge, he's going to be amazing, of course, in Festival of Battles. But you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care for the rest of your day, and peace.